you in this class. Because some of the questions, when you get to be 11 or 12 and you go to the adult class, you have to take the entrance examination. First day of camp, Ms. Harper wants to know, what do you know? Mr. Tregenza wants to know, what do you know? Mr. Shirley wants to know, what do you know? And some of the things that you learn here can help you answer those questions. All right? All right. What class do you want to go to today?
No, it's fine.
No? I think there's going to be some good classes today.
Okay, who else?
All right.
Sign it up here, sign it wherever you want. And tonight, I'm going to bring this up so that as people go into the award ceremony and the closing program,
Okay.
they'll be able to see it as they walk in.
I need to sign too, actually. I didn't sign last year. Miss Kathy, are you going to put your John Hancock on that, or have you already done so?
I have.
Miss Bella, will you put your John Hancock on there? Or have
Yes.
you- Yeah. Okay. Nice treat. And of course, you're storing this here in Pittsfield.
I'm in now. Last year I left it, there was no way I could carry it home.
Where'd you leave it?
I left it here and then Roberta came and got it. And I don't know whether Hal ended up with it or she had it in her house. But I can put it in my attic. That's where it was originally.
Thank you
ready?
so much. Please keep the
Okay.
top to that black
Move away,
marker.
please.
That's our brand new one I just dug out. I mean, the Sharpie.
Yes, she did. Yeah, that's fine. You can write it over. Okay, anybody else? Everybody get a chance?
Let's see.
All right. Miss Bella.
Listen, after we're done with this signing, I'm going to read you a story about the preamble. And then we're going to have a snack. So in order to quickly get your snack, you need to quickly listen. Does that make sense? Listen and then I'll move on with the snack.
Okay, after the Declaration was written in 1776, they did not finish the Constitution until 1789, and that's because the war continued. So after they signed that, we talked about the Battle of Bunker Hill happened before the Declaration. After the Declaration, we talked about George Washington crossing the Delaware. And after that, there were several more battles before it ended. So there were several more battles, so it was many years later that they got the Constitution written. What does a preamble mean? It's a big word. What's a preamble? Right, but let's first talk about what a preamble is. When you give a speech, or when you write a paper, or when you do anything that you're going to try to get people to hear you, the first thing you do is you tell them what you're going to tell them.
Right.
Then, after you tell them that, then you tell them. And then at the end, eventually, you're going to be able to let them know what you said. And that's the way people learn. All right, the words of the preamble and what they mean. A preamble is the first part of something or an introduction. It's It's what we're going to say, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. The Constitution, each one of you have one in your bags. It's, again, a very small document that has huge impact. It's not, some of the bills in Congress now are this big. Or this big.
That big.
And that's what they, they keep putting extra words in. They go yada, 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 yada,
That's
yada,
about
yada.
it. That's
But
about
the
it.
Constitution was written so that it was easy to understand. It's clear, it's concise, and they put it up there. And before you read the Constitution, you read the preamble. It's the introduction. It tells exactly what they're going to do. So, Mrs. Kraft is
Take
going
it
to,
away.
Mrs. Kraft is going to read you about the preamble.
And this sheet of paper, this beautiful red, white, and blue sheet of paper, which my son helped me print because I don't know color. You're going to get this sheet of paper, okay? Everybody's going to have this also in your folder. I got more than 20. All right. This is a gift to all of us. This came from Ms. Barney. Last year, anybody remember this from last year?
Yeah.
Okay, well then you're gonna get it, really gonna get it this year, because you're gonna know it, because you're gonna help me. It's called We the Kids. Because we as kids, or not we, you as kids, ladies and gentlemen, please stop. Oh, just ladies, stop. You are part of the We the People. You just happen to be kids, and one day you'll be all grown up. So here we go. This is called We the People, the Preamble to the Constitution of the United States, illustrated and a foreword by David Cathro. And you so beautifully understood that a preamble is an introduction. My name is Mrs. Kraft. How are you? How are you? That was an introduction. Hello, my name is Mrs. Kraft. Your name is? That was an introduction. So your preamble to your Constitution is a, hello, my name is. This is what I'm going to do. It's an introduction, right? This man, Mr. David Cathro, you have a question? So just check it. He wrote this book on behalf of all of you because, I'll tell you why. Because of the big words. In 6th grade, can you put that back down so you can be more focused, please? Does it have anything in it that's electronic or anything? Okay. So, big words, big ideas. The first time I was born, this is Mr. David Cattro speaking. The first time I was forced to think about the Constitution was in 5th grade. President's Day was coming up, and my teacher, Mrs. Bowman, wanted to talk about big ideas. Stuff like freedom, liberty, founding fathers, president. I sat doodling. Doodling means you're doing what? Drawing. It's just drawing a picture of George Washington riding the red 27. Johnny Ginger Mountain Rider bike. I hope to get for my next birthday. Did George Washington ride a Johnny Ginger Mountain Ranger bike?
Yeah.
Did you say yes? I think I still have it. One parent gifted me what George Washington may have written. This is from the Pike family. Thought I throw that in. Somebody up front likes horses, so I dug this out. These are 2 of George Washington's horses. Someone thinks. You can look at them later. But anyway, this guy has a sense of humor. His teacher is talking about freedoms, and he's doodling and riding a bike. Anyway, we the people. So his teacher's reading, right? Just like I'm doing. His teacher is reading, and he's doodling. We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union. This is teacher reading. He says she's reciting. Secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. I remember thinking, man, why couldn't the guys who wrote that just use regular English, like regular words? establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility. But I guess that's just how everybody talked back in the olden days. Like my grandfather, who always said things like Rip Snorton. What is Rip Snorton? And Hog Swallow and Ruby Tooty. Have you heard any of that stuff from your grandparents? Well, I
think our grandparents.
even I say stuff that my kids don't know what I'm talking about. So this young person, he was a young person, sitting in his class, teacher is reading the preamble to the Constitution, and he's wondering, what is going on? I'm a much older guy now, he says, and I figured out that our Constitution is simply a list of rules and promises. Our Constitution is a list of rules and promises. Our Constitution is what, Sarah? A list of... Let's try. Ah, who's listening? Our Constitution is simply a list of rules and promises. Now those words you understand. Do you understand the word rules, Sarah?
Yes.
Do you understand the word promises?
Yes.
So if that was in the preamble, you would understand, right? It's big words. Rules and promises you understand, right? Because I know you press on Mom. Mom, you said. Mom, you promised. Right? Mom, the rules are, if I do my chores, I get my allowance. That's a rule, right? Pretty much. Okay. I'm a much older guy now, and I figured out that our Constitution is simply a list of rules and promises written down by people just like you and me. Some of them were tall. I like this part. Some of them were short. Some of them were thin. Some of them were fat. Hairy. No hair. Wigs. That's not in the wigs part. And all of them used to be kids. So you definitely don't have to be a grown-up to understand what they wrote. For me, the Constitution is a kind of how-to book. The Constitution is a kind of how-to book. The Constitution is a kind of how-to book. How to make pizza. How to make cookies. How to make, give me something you like.
Cake.
How to make cake. The Constitution is a how-to book. How to make, what do you like? Tell me something you like. Something you like to make. How to make slime. My grandkids love to make slime. I hate to make slime. But how to make slime? So think of your Constitution as a how-to book. Now, what is a how-to book about? It's showing, I'm going to tell you according to this man. It's a how-to book showing us ways to have happiness. Everybody say happiness.
Happiness.
Safety.
Safety.
And comfort.
And comfort.
And then this man says, doesn't that sound like common sense? Does it sound like common sense? Let's do it again. Sebastian, are you with me? It's showing us ways to have happiness, safety, safety, and comfort, say comfort. Sounds like common sense, right? But a couple hundred years ago, those things weren't common at all, capital letters. For instance, back then, if you said that you wrote something and the people in charge didn't like it, they could put you in jail. Remember, I touched a little bit about before our Puritans and Pilgrims left England. If they wanted to serve the true and living God, if they wanted to go to the Church of God, they were put in jail. That was back in Old England. New England was different. For instance, back then, if you said or you wrote something and the people in charge didn't like it, they could put you in jail. Or they could stick tar and feather all over you. Ouch! They actually did that. Does anybody know what tar is?
Black.
Raise your hand. Raise your hand. What is tar, ma'am? You don't know what it is, but you've seen it, right? All right. Would you want us to have some tar on your body? All right. Sebastian, thank you. What is tar?
Black sticky liquid that is like Thai maple syrup, but much thicker and sticky and smells.
I think excellent description. What do you want to say about tar?
Also, it can also be like steaming hot, so that's the reason why.
Hot. All those are good adjectives. Hot, steamy, sticky,
Stinky.
stinky. I hate the smell of tar. You know those words are adjectives, right? All those words describe tar. Now you know what tar is? Get a mental picture. What is tar? Hot, sticky, black, stinky.
It's pretty much like disgusting black lava.
Okay, disgusting black lava. Everybody now knows what tar is, right? It's not cotton candy, it's not sweet, it's not pleasant.
And it burns.
And it burns. And how about after all that, they put you in feathers? This was actually done, am I right? This was actually done if you came against people who are in charge. Yes, sir.
And once tar gets hard, it becomes as hard as a rock.
Yes. So you probably died. You probably suffocated. You died. A miserable death. So, perhaps they needed a constitution. You're just saying, right? So that you can be safe and happy and comforted. All right. Now, let's go back a little bit. Let's go back. For instance, back then, if you said or you wrote something and the people in charge didn't like it, they could put you in jail or stick tar and feathers all over you. Ouch! He actually wrote ouch in there. Now, even though a lot has changed, thank God, a lot has changed. If you listen, the rules in our Constitution still make sense. The rules in our Constitution still make sense. Did I say that again? The rules in our Constitution still make sense. The rules in our Constitution still make sense. Don't you agree? Good.
Yes.
Now, the tar, guess what the tar is used for? I love this man. He said now tar is used to make highways.
Yes.
Uh-huh. And feathers are strictly for the birds. Got it? I love this man. What do we put tar now? On the? All right. The feathers are strictly for the birds. All right. All right. I must move on because the snack is waiting. A few years ago, I went and I saw the real Constitution in Washington, D.C. and an old, brown, cracky-looking thing with curly handwriting. That's almost impossible to read. But when it was new, it gave us rights and privileges that nobody had ever had before. Let us decide for ourselves what kind of life we wanted to have. At certain times, I wanted to be a garbage man, a baseball player, a brain surgeon, and an airline pilot. How about all that? But you can do that in America. You can decide what you want to be. He says, instead, I became a dad, an artist, and a political cartoonist. That's what he's got here in this book. When I paint my paintings, I draw my cartoons, I can do them any way I want. That's, you know why? Because he's in, Good job. Anyway, on. Being able to do that makes me feel very happy and very free. And I think that's exactly what all those old guys with their big words and those big ideas wanted. For themselves, they wanted it for me, they wanted it for the other grown-ups, and they especially wanted it for the kids. Everybody say, for the kids. For the kids. The Constitution was written for the grown-ups, but it was also written for the kids. You got that? Yeah. This page is called The Words in the Preamble and What They Mean. I'll go over it real quickly, but you're going to get, I read this page for your folders. The word preamble, we already talked about. The preamble is always the first part. It's an introduction. What's a preamble? Give me the I word. And in. Oh, come on, I got to get the syllables. Intro. What's a preamble and? What's a preamble and? Introduction. Okay, if you don't remember anything else, you got that. Okay, so that's what that means. We the people of the United States. What's in blue is it's the original language. What the author, what he put in black is to help you understand the blue words, the big words. So we the people of the United States, all the people in the country, including the In order to form a more perfect union. What does that mean? To come together, make things better for everybody who lives in the country. What does establish justice mean? He says, to make things fair and honest. Fair and honest. Establish justice to make things, 2 words.
Fair.
Fair and, let me read. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Establish justice means to make things fair and honest. To establish justice means to make things
Fair
and
honest.
for just me. For just Miss Kathy. No, they're just for Miss Bell. I don't hear amen. Establish justice is to make things fair and honest for everyone, everybody. So who gets fair and justice? Just the kids at this camp.
No.
Who gets fair and justice according to your...
Yeah.
No. Everybody in the United States, not the galaxy. You don't want to go to certain communist countries, trust me.
There is no fair.
The third world. You don't want to go what's places like that. Ensure domestic tranquility. Now you say those words, what does that mean? Ensure domestic tranquility. He says it means to make sure that we get all, that we all have a nice life. And we'll all get along. Do you want to get along?
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's ensure domestic tranquility. Ensure. Ensure is a verb. It's a do word. Ensure. Help me, Miss Bella. Miss Bella's going to be a constitutional lawyer. I have a word for it, but I want to hear it from a legal lawyer. Ensure.
To make sure something happens.
Okay, to ensure. Make it happen. Make it happen. Ensure. I will ensure that you will leave, take all this stuff home that I want you to. I will ensure that you take that package home. I will make sure you will take all that stuff home I'm stuffing. Now, the domestic part just has to do with the home life. Provide for the common defense. What does that mean? To protect us from other people or other countries. Promote, I'm going to skip some of this. Anyway, to promote the general welfare, to make life good for everybody. How about ensure the blessings of liberty? What does that mean? It's a big word, a 2, 3, 4. What does it mean? This morning, did anybody say, and secure the blessings of liberty?
Yes.
But did you exactly know what it meant? So here's what it means to protect our rights and freedom and not let anyone take them away, okay? Your rights are not to be taken away. You have first rights and liberties. You have 5 First Amendment rights. You have 5 First Amendment rights. You have 5. Don't forget. So after your snack, we're going to work on that. Okay, here we go. So you want to secure the blessings of liberty. What does it mean? Protect the rights and freedom. And don't let anybody take them away. So who are the rights and liberty for? To ourselves
And all of the...
and our posterity. So the people who wrote the Declaration, and many of the names over here, we didn't get into that, but these people sat down. Here is George Washington standing up and the signing, and the people in Congress. So they wanted it for them, but you are the posterity. Did you live when these people lived?
Yeah.
No, you didn't live yet. So you are the posterity. You're the future. Your parents are the future. For them, your grandparents benefited. For kids, for parents, for all the grown-ups and all the people born in this country. Got it? You get to use it. Do, ordain, and establish this Constitution. What does that mean? Do, ordain, and establish. They understood it back then, right? We do, ordain, and establish. How about to write it down so that we can live by it? So we list the rules and promises. The Constitution is rules and... If you want to get your snack, you're going to have to speak up. Rules and promises. Now the last part of the preamble you got. For the United States of America. Mr. Moore sang it so beautifully. So what does that mean? Do I have to read this with What does it mean? The blue letters for the United States of America. Who is the United States of America?
No one.
Who is it?
Who is the United States of America?
You.
What's the first line?
Of the preamble.
We.
The people.
So who's the United States? Help me, Leo. Stay with me, Leo.
We are.
We are. So you're going to get this. And those of you who can't read, ask your parents to read it to you. I wish I could give you all the book, but I can't. I want you to look at the book. Because the book, he has such a sense of humor. He's a cartoonist. So he's writing about these kids. They're sailing. That is not really George Washington, but I'm just saying. He's got a little cartoon on the water. I'll just go through the pictures. You know, and they actually are camping in a backyard. But they're using the Constitution to have a good camping trip, okay? So the book will be up here. Please don't get my book. I only have one. But look at the book. And then at the camp, they establish rules. Be fair, share, no pulling the hair. They're on the camp. They're on the camping site, but they're using the rules of the Constitution to have a good camping trip. And I think they're in the backyard. All right, ensure domestic tranquility. They want everybody at the campsite to be at peace. So, I'll leave this up here after your hands are clean, and after you can look at this together, okay? And then you can see what he's talking about. Once he's got the rest of the pictures real quick. The snack is coming, trust me, it's coming. I can hear it. I can hear the rattling and crackling. It's coming. Provide for the common defense. The dog is the soldier. He's watching over them. I think they're getting ready to go to sleep in the camp. But he's going to ensure domestic tranquility. So that has to do with the dog is going to protect them while they're sleeping in the backyard. Is that a cute idea or what? Promote the general welfare. Oh, everybody's in the tent, got the light, they're playing a game, they're having fun. Ah, that's what happens. We get protected in our country. Secure the blessings of liberty. To who?
America.
To everybody. I told you they were in the backyard. Look at the house. Look where they're camping. Mom and Dad is watching over the what? They're watching over the kids while they camp in the backyard. All right? To ourselves, our posterity. This is a cute little book. All right. Okay? So, you get to take this home for this. And I'm going to put them in your folders, okay? But you get an idea. You can look at the book. All right. Take it away, Miss Kathy.
Snacks.
Take it away, Miss Stella.
You have a couple spoons.
Yes, ma'am.
No, be careful.
Okay, I will go dig out some spoons.
There's a couple pretzels.
Pretzels. Can we eat outside?
Mrs. Kraft,
Yes, sir. What is that?
I had a
Oh
splinter
my
in my.
goodness! Ah, is that a scab?
No, it's a splinter. I had it.
Okay, get that. Is that what you were working on? Get that Kleenex. Nurse is here. No, the Kleenex, sweetheart. Here, Miss. I need a nurse. I need a nurse. This is Spencer problem.
It should be there. I just got it there. Oh, you did? Yeah.
Miss Bella, do you know how to put this back on? I'm gonna turn it off. I know how to turn it on. I know how to turn it off. It's not enough to record.